Hi YouTube, that's one of the cherry shrimp I've added to this aquarium. This is a video about the aquarium I used to call the Riverbank, and actually I had to start over with the tank because during my illness, of course, no one was around to take care of it, and it ran out of CO2, the water level dropped, the filter stopped working, so I had to start from ground zero on this tank. But I kept the tank pretty much intact. I am changing the plants around a little bit, but other than that, I kept the tank pretty much as it was. So this is 3 weeks post submerging the tank itself, so take a look at the video and see how I transition from emersed condition to a submersed, and it does present a lot of different unique problems. So watch the video and follow along as I complete this tank. As I said, this is about 3 weeks into the process of submerging the tank, so follow along as I finish up and watch this tank grow out. Hi YouTube, this is the tank that some of you may remember as being the Riverbank, and again, during my illness I didn't get a chance to really take care of my aquariums, so I started this one over from a dry start, and this is about the second week of the flooding of the tank, and as you can tell, I'm getting ready to do a water change on it, as well as clean up some of the plants. I initially started with Java fern. As you can see, I started it on the log and it's already taking root. Part of my cleanup today is going to be to get rid of a lot of that debris that's still on the log there. But as you can see, the Java fern has pretty much attached itself to the driftwood, which is what I wanted. The some Ritzia got caught in the Java fern at some point, so I'm going to clean that out. Again, I started the Java fern initially when I began the dry start on the tank, and it's really taking hold. Again, it just needs to be cleaned up. I also started this Windallow Java fern in the corner. In perspective to the tank, that's where it's located. I also started these two crypts, and as you can see, actually it was 3, and it's already growing out a new plant from a runner. It's actually a bad place for it because if you look, it's directly against the glass, and it's really going to take away from the aquascape, so I'm going to have to trim that out. I'm going to let it grow up just a little bit more, and although I think these crypts will fill out this corner. Welcome back YouTube. I've completed the cleanup on this aquarium, and as you can see, I've cut a lot of the plants back. Some were straggly and overgrown. Primarily the hydrocotyle Japan was really taking over too much of the aquarium, so I cut it back. And it's not a problem pruning it way back. It's already starting to recover. The mosses I didn't do too much with, other than clean some of the debris out of the stems, and so it stayed pretty much as they were. I've cleaned up a lot of the Monte Carlo on the bottom, although I've left it pretty much intact. I did clean up an area closer to that piece of driftwood. I also pruned back a lot of the Java moss on this log, as well as clearing out some of the debris so that you can get a better idea of how the Java moss is growing on the root or piece of driftwood. The microstorm window love in the corner, I trimmed out a lot of the dead, well not dead, but decaying leaves, and opened the plant up a little bit. With Java fern, it's probably better to keep it pruned, because the more you prune it, it seems like the more it grows. The crypts I didn't do anything with except cut off a couple of dead leaves. I still have one that I decided to leave on, but I'm probably going to prune it off too as soon as I see another leaf come out. I didn't do anything with the leaf of the new plant that's growing in the front. I kind of left it, and as I said, I'm going to let it get a few more leaves on it before I try to remove the plant as a whole. The Busa flounder plant, which I didn't mention in the first part of the video, is getting new leaves, and really I didn't have to do too much with it except open up the space so that it could get a little more light. Again, this was a late addition, and so it's just now starting to grow. But with any of the rhizome plants, you have to look primarily to make sure that the rhizome is healthy. And with Busa flandras, most people throw away plants they think are dead, but really, if the rhizome is healthy, the plant will come back out. And it's sort of survival technique for the plant, I suppose. But at any rate, I did kind of clean it up and, let it come back out, trying to get it to grow more leaves, because I think it's going to be a real nice place for it in the aquarium where it's situated. The anubias were left pretty much as they are. As you can see, they're attached directly to the driftwood, so I think it'll be a nice effect of it cascading down the driftwood. I wanted something a little larger there in addition to the mosses, so that's what I used, was the anubias. I also have another piece of microstorm that I trimmed way back. Again, this plant, you can see the new leaves, and again, if the rhizome is healthy on these plants, the plant will come back out. I've talked to a lot of hobbyists who have thrown away plants thinking they were dead, when in truth, Java fern is so easy to grow that you can just cut off a leaf and throw it into the aquarium, and you'll get a bunch of plantlets on it. So it's really almost armor plant, because it really is. I used to think that these plants were delicate. When I first saw them in Amano tanks, I thought they were delicate and very difficult to grow, and in many instances the price reflected that, and the myth was kind of blown apart when I got the plant, because I found that just leaving a piece of dead leaf in the aquarium, it grew back. So it grows pretty much true to species, in that all Java fern will do that. If they're healthy, as a survival method, they'll grow new plantlets, and so it's a pretty easy plant to grow. The crypts in the back were cleaned up in a sense, because a lot of those roots that were growing around it were pulled out, and there were quite a few. As you can see, this plant is getting the submerged growth, so a lot of the emersed growth is dying back. These were in vitro grown, so you expect it a little. I did change filters. I went with an Eheim 2211, and the flow from that is really good. So I do have to get a cover for the, sorry about that, a cover for the intake, because I am going to add shrimp. The shrimp should be on their way to the aquarium as the first occupants, aside from the ram's horn snails that are already in the tank. So again, this was one of my favorite aquariums. It initially was called Riverbank, and I don't plan on changing the name. However, you know, I do have to say that it is Riverbank too, so because it's not exactly the same as the other aquarium. But I do want you guys to follow along as I develop this tank, and I think it's really going to be a really nice tank once it gets going. I'm also going to do a 10-gallon tank, because I think a lot of people, you know, that's the first size they buy, and I want to do a low-tech aquarium in the 10-gallon, the same one you go in the store and buy. And I already have the tank. I'm just clearing out the occupants. It'll be the third tank you view when you come into the room, because the first centerpiece is going to be the 100-gallon tank. This is on the left side of my fish room, and the 10-gallon is going to be on the right side. But I wanted these three tanks to be like living pictures when you walk into my fish room. So guys, stay tuned as this tank develops. Hopefully the next time I show it to you, I'll have the cherry shrimp, which I've already ordered. So stay tuned.